What is up, YouTube? Fancy Pollock here. Today I'm just going to be showing the new Dalton Clutch Kit that I got for the Maverick Trail here. So we're going to be installing that. Probably not today. I'm still waiting on a couple parts, namely some upgraded rollers and upgraded secondary bolt from Cubic Dollar Offroad. So those are still coming in the mail. I got my clutch puller. I got my clutch spring compressor tool, as well as the belt tool. But here is the clutch kit, the Dalton Industries DBMT 1000-1. So this specific one is for 27 to 29 inch tires. It's the cheaper of the options for the Dalton clutch kits, because as you saw in my previous videos, I put 28 inch Tusk megabytes on here. And my last couple rides with stock clutching, I wasn't able to make it up a couple hills just because it bogged down way too much. Maybe should have been in low gear for some of them, but yeah, for just general riding, kind of want to get that punch back, that grip back. So hopefully this will help with that. So I don't know how well of a how-to this is going to be, but I'm going to try my best to film as much as I can, because there's a lot of different videos on the process of different pieces of the steps. So like removing the clutch, removing the belt. There's tons of videos on removing belts, but more specific to this machine or these model years of this machine, there's not like one video that does from beginning to end. So hopefully I'll be able to shed some more light on that for you guys. So bear with me, because this is my first time working on CVT, but I feel confident enough with my skills that I can, handle this project. So let's get this thing unboxed just to show you guys what else is included. So when you open it up, get your primary, secondary springs, got the replacement helix sticker that I will probably put on my sticker wall there that I'm starting, or maybe on the back of this. It's hard to tell. Sticker, and obviously the instructions. So I have not taken a look at how the helix looks, so let me pop that bad boy open. Wow, that's super nice. Looks really good. I'm not going to take it out of the packaging right now because I'm not doing anything today, but yeah, those are the pieces. And let me grab my tools that I got. So got clutch puller tool, and I got from Hunter Works their clutch spring compressor tool. So I'm going to try to do this without the primary separator tool. They say you can actually use this tool to kind of hammer on it a little bit, and it should pop out. It shouldn't be too tight in there. So we're going to see how that goes. Yeah, hopefully all goes well, and if not, then I need to buy this specific tool, but we'll go from there. I'm back again with the Dalton Clutch Kit install. I just got the Cubic Dollar Offroad Rollers and upgraded bolt in the mail. I'm going to unbox them here from the shipping box and show you guys what those look like. I also did a quick and dirty power wash of the machine. Most of the plastics are relatively clean. The tires are still muddy and whatnot. I'm going to need to clean her up a little bit better. Yeah, so I'll be putting in that clutch kit. If I don't go hunting this weekend, then I plan to at least start the project this weekend. Getting the clutch cover off, getting the primary, secondary out, and going through with the upgrade. So hopefully I got all the tools. If I don't, then I'll order as needed. But yeah, let me unbox these Cubic Dollar parts. Of course, it came with some stickers. Gotta love those. One of these will go great up on my little sticker wall up here. Should fit just about there. So yeah, let me get this out of the bag here. And that is what the roller and the new bolt look like. Pretty much what you'd expect. Look like a couple pieces of nice plastic and a nice bolt. So we'll hopefully be getting this started this weekend, or maybe earlier this week, depending on how time goes, but pretty busy with some after hours work stuff. So I'll see you guys in the next bit. In other news, I do intend on in the future getting a bigger machine. Whether or not that will happen sooner rather than later, I don't know. So I'm still going through with these upgrades because I think they're kind of necessary with the bigger tires. And if someone who gets this, or if I get bigger tires in the 28s, then it'll help out quite a bit. It'll just help out with the longevity of the machine and the belt life and all that jazz. So yeah, we'll see you guys this weekend or whenever I start the project. All right, guys, we're gonna get started on the clutch kit install, the Dalton Clutch Kit. So I'm gonna jack the machine up. I'm gonna take the wheel off. It'll just make getting the clutch cover off a little easier here. But yeah, I'll be filming that. Hopefully I'll be helping you guys out with this process. And first time I'm doing it, so if it's your first time doing it too, well, it's kind of like we're doing it together. Now we gotta take off all these bolts. I'm gonna use a regular socket so I don't mess up those threads there in case it strips out for some reason. But yep, we'll get all these bolts put off. Let's get the cover off. Seems an 8mm fits this this bolt well. Missing one bolt. There she is. Magnificent clutch. So I'm going to get the belt spreader here, and we're going to go ahead and get that belt opened up so we can pull the belt off. For reference, this is the direction those words are facing, and that's important when you go to put the belt back on. I'm going to take a photo on my phone as well just so I don't forget. But yeah, let's go through and get this thing hammered out. So this is the tool I got, just threads in the center there, and then you thread this bolt in to open it up. So let's get that going. 14mm fits this bolt. This is just a kit off Amazon, so who knows what the actual factory OEM one is. If it starts to get hard, just back it out. I see why some people recommended adding a penny, because it did make a little mark on the transmission, but that's not a huge deal since it's not really an important piece. And for one, actually I think that piece is going to be replaced with the Dalton Clutch Kit. So yep, let's pull that out and see if we can get these primary and secondaries out. There she goes. Okay, see if we can get these bad boys out. I don't appear to have a socket for the primary, the size of the primary bolt. I do, but I don't have an impact socket for that size. So I'm gonna pull the secondary off, since I should have a size for that, but the primary I'll have to go to my dad's and grab our Craftsman impact and then all the 1/2" impact sockets we got, just so we can see what we got. So let's get that pulled off. So that is the orientation of that bolt with the flange facing the inside. This is the one we'll be replacing, so I'm going to set this aside for now. This thing is a lot lighter than I thought it would be. Alright, we're going to go over to Harbor Freight, pick up a metric impact set for 1/2" impact, since we have a 1/2" one at my dad's place that I bought for him a while ago. And then we'll get that primary pulled off. So when I get back, I'm going to clean this thing up because there's a ton of belt dust all over this thing. So got a nice Quinn 1/2" drive deep impact socket set, 6-point. They didn't have a 6-point metric for the cheaper Pittsburgh brand, and they're all out of the super nice Icon stuff. So this is what we got. So I'm gonna grab the stuff from my parents' house here, and we'll get her going. Well, got my 22mm here, and need my little swivel socket. These are a lifesaver. Easy. So this also has a washer on it, so I want to make sure that's good. And there's 2 sets of threads, so you'll have to thread it out through the second set of threads. That second set of threads is actually, I believe, what the clutch puller goes into. Long bolt, so be patient. There she is. All right, let me grab the puller. So hopefully I bought the correct one, so we will see. Yep, looks to be threading in, so just thread it in until it stops. I'll get the impact on it. Make sure you got the right socket size. 19mm seems to fit the best. My 3/8 impact. So we're gonna be tightening. Now, assuming I can get it in there. This is where one of those stubby impacts would probably make the most sense, but I got these swivel sockets and I can't imagine these things are on there that crazy. All right, well, we got it off finally. This thing exploded when it came off. So I had to use a piece of wood and jam it kind of like this. And then my buddy put his foot on it so it wouldn't slip. And then it just exploded off. So I wish I recorded that because that was kind of violent. But yeah, now we can actually begin the real work. So the internet says you need a clutch puller that threads into these. The OEM clutch puller from Can-Am, but that thing's like $450, so I'm not going to spend that to do one clutch. They say you can hammer on this while it's threaded in to get to split the primary into two pieces, so we're going to try that here. Basically just kind of hold it so it's floating. So however you want to do that, then I'm going to be whacking on this. I would rather thread it in more than less, right? For fear of damaging the other one, I'm not gonna be hammering on it anymore. I ordered the tool, so hopefully that'll make it a little bit easier to install. We could still do the primary or the secondary clutch, so I'll be getting that going at least and get that prepped for when the tool arrives for the primary.
Pretty hot though.
Or you can go get more and I could get like normal plastic and normal plastic.
These are T40 screws here. So now we just loosen her up. Now we'll pop this off and we'll separate these two. Okay, at this point we need to pull the rollers out and upgrade those as well while we're in here. So the rollers down in there, they look fine, but they tend to fail, so just gotta find something to punch those out of there and unbolt these. Dinner's ready. That's what those look like. Little pins, and now we can take those bolts out. If you try to take them out, take the bolts out with these in there, you're probably going to break something. Alright, these roller bolts look to be a T27. There's a little washer on this, a little bite washer, so make sure you don't lose that. Okay, so these are the factory rollers that are apparently no good, so we're going to be replacing those. I'm going to blow this thing out though before I do anything else. So I'm going to take the plastic pieces off the old spring and put them on the new spring accordingly. And set it down in the new one with the new spring. Alright, I'm going to sneak these rollers in in those little spots there and put the bolt in at the same time. These bolts shouldn't need Loctite since they have the pin to hold them in. And there's one. I'm going to shine a light up underneath so I can see where those rollers go. That should be about right. Well, that took quite a bit longer than I expected it to. One of the bolts had a little rough spot on it, so I had to kind of put the pin in a different direction. So that's all done now, so we can actually get to the fun stuff. We can put these pins away. So I took some Scotch-Brite pad and scuffed these up to get the shine off of them. It's supposed to help with the belt wear. I'm just cleaning these up right now. So once you clean up those surfaces, try not to touch them too much. If not, you just have to clean it up later. So now we have our prepped primary. Let us go ahead and get that set up. So for reference, the rollers need to go into these little slotted portions. That should be pretty close. If not, I will figure that out in a little bit. Alright, once it's compressed, we can get our blue Loctite, line up these holes, get our bolts in. And instruction says to torque to 18 foot-pounds. So I will go ahead and do that. There's an arrow on the actual helix as well, so make sure that is lined up with your marks as well. I had to pull this apart because I didn't realize that it wasn't lined up, and that would have not been great. Alright, let's get these torqued down. That is put together. So now we're just going to clean it up a little bit and then get it back on the machine. So this is the upgraded bolt. I'm going to take this and keep this one as a spare. Right, got it torqued down, just hit it with the impact a bit. Now I gotta wait for the governor cup puller, which is kind of expensive, but you kind of need it for this job. So yeah, we'll call it for now and wait till that stuff comes in. What's up YouTube, we're back here. Finally got the governor cup puller here in the mail. So it is also a Hunter Works product. Basically, this goes on top of this. There's some bolt you have to put in here. You put in there, thread it in with the nut. Comes with all this stuff. And then you impact this off so you can separate this top piece from this bottom piece. And then actually get into everything in that clutch. Which is really, it's a $200 tool to replace this. So, a little expensive, but it should work on other machines as well, or you know, in general as a puller, and it is a very premium product. I mean, you can see this is really nice machined aluminum. So let's see if we can get this thing unstuck. So you got to drop this nut in there, and then there's a set screw to put in the side here to keep it in place. That is in. The nut is secured. Now let's assemble this thing. It's only about a finger or so gap here. Then line up your holes. These are a size I actually have. Size 6 Allen head fits it. I'm going to put my impact on the low setting so I don't mess anything up. Just going to thread all these in. You don't need to thread them in and impact them down super hard. They just need to be snug, since this is really a puller. I'm also going to put some anti-seize on the main bolt, just to, you know, help it move along easily. They say you never need to unthread this bolt all the way, since the end of it's going to be a bit messed up. The end of it's going to be messed up from using it as a puller. And just hopefully this should come off like this. There she goes. Whew. Pretty aggressive little pop there. Let's put this to the side. Thread this out. It should be what kind of holds these two pieces together right now. There we go. I also had made an indexing mark there, so when we put it on, we know roughly which direction needs to go, which it'll be something like this, like that. You can see my other marks here as well. So we'll probably clean that up in a bit. This part, they say you want to be careful, because there's these little O-rings and buttons here that will tend to fall out. So knowing my luck, they're gonna go freaking everywhere. So I'm gonna take my time here and make sure none of those things fall out. I'm also gonna get it off this foam pad so it's easier to handle. Yep, there's a few out already. So this one, the actual O-ring popped off, so we're gonna need to make sure that sits down and it's grooved nicely before we reassemble everything. So now we can go ahead and open up our, I'm not even sure what these are called. Man, this thing's dirty. Pop all those open and pull all these bolts off once you get a spring compressor on, which I'll probably be doing that at another time. I just wanted to make sure this tool worked. So I'll see you guys probably tomorrow, because tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so I have the day off and we're not celebrating until Saturday, so I should have some time to get this thing put together. So see you guys then. Gonna pop them up in the garage. Blow this out with the air compressor just to get some of that belt dust out of there. So I'll just do that real quickly here, and then we'll get started on actually getting the spring installed. All right, we'll get this thing on the spring compressor and then pop these bolts out. As you can see, I blew it out a bit, so it's a little cleaner. Looks to be a T30 bit. I'm gonna move this thing out of the way so it doesn't vibrate loose all the buttons. I got 3 of them missing there. Make sure you mark the spring cup as well. Now just slowly release it. Don't do that. Remove the old spring and put the new spring in. I'm gonna clean that up a little bit. All right, new spring going in. Make sure you align your mark. Be careful when it gets close to seated that the rim edge is in proper position to seat correctly. It should go into place easily. Yeah, seems to have gone into place pretty easily. No weird binding and whatnot. Well, they say use some blue Loctite. Let's get that on these bolts. Looks pretty seated to me. The torque spec says 89 inch-pounds or 10 Newton meters. Okay, now that those are all torqued, we can take the spring compressor off, clean off some of these while we're in here. Now this is going to be a test of my abilities here. Let's find our mark. Okay, I gotta kind of hold these buttons. I gotta sneak in the one I got left on this side. And it should just kind of drop in. Just like that. And that is about all you have to do. Just gonna clean up the clutch surface a bit. Just gotta be careful because all this stuff is loose now. So let me go ahead and clean this up. Also, we'll clean up this one. Everything feels okay. Let's scuff up these surfaces. Close them down. Find my indexing mark. There's my mark. And line those boys up. That looks to be it. So now she's prepped for reinstallation, so we'll go ahead and get this bad boy installed in the machine. So now you just got to be careful when you're doing this that these two pieces will fall apart now. So you need to make sure that they are they're holding both bottom and top when you're going to reinstall it. So that the tapers are clean and dry, so I'm going to get them down with some brake clean. Got our bolt, make sure you got the washer on it. Got to get through that first set of threads and to your second set. Now we need to torque it. 89 foot-pounds plus or minus 6 pounds. So I'm gonna get my piece of wood, see if we can do that. I would not recommend this. Get an actual holder tool. Alright, she's torqued. Now, just get the belt on, which I don't need to show you guys that process. It's the same process as taking it off. You just gotta slip it on. Maybe I will show it just for continuity's sake. So if we remember the rotation, that stuff goes that way. I'll rotate it and yep, she's on. And that is why you use a penny. Spin it around a few times. Get her at ride height. She's in. So now what I'm going to do is take it for a test drive. I'm not going to put the clutch cover on quite yet, so I want to clean that up, but I want to make sure everything works before we go from there. You know what? I'm actually going to put the clutch cover on just because there's a lot of dirt in here. I don't want stuff to just break off and get inside of it. So give me a few minutes here, I'll get that on. Okay, now let's get the tire on. Alright, just gotta remove these wheel chocks and then we'll give her a test drive, and I'll let you guys know how it shifts and how it feels different. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna tell you what, that makes a pretty big difference. So before, the RPMs were kind of low and it kind of jerked forward a little bit and when you're getting off. Now it's kind of instantaneous almost. Especially the full throttle is instantaneous. There's still a little top end missing, but it's not a big machine, not super powerful, but the RPMs are definitely higher. So I don't think I was hitting 7,000 RPM before on the stock clutching with these 28-inch tires. So it was definitely under that on wide open throttle. So yeah, seemed to have put together correctly, given that there wasn't any explosions or any pieces going flying through the back seat. So yeah, I think we're about done with that clutch kit, and the roller upgrade and the bolt upgrade. Cleaned them up, shine the surfaces up a bit. Now we just got to clean up the whole dang garage. So it's always the fun part. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And yeah, take it easy, y'all.